about the household in disarray, the household in disintegration, the household in frustration. Now we're getting to a point where the household is coming back into its own because you're putting the work in, which is the world card. You're putting the work in and telling and making sure that you're putting the house back in order.
Welcome to Cards and Constellations with Bonnie Morris and Dawn Rumor Rivera from Sonoran Mystic Tarot. Here, we blend astrology and tarot to guide you through the twists and turns for the week ahead. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share. Let's dive into your cosmic journey together.
Hello. This is for the week of August 11th through the 17th. Now we're going to have a general overview of the astrology, and then we will go into specifics for each sign. We will also have specific tarot readings on each sign. As always, we do start out with the moon. So expect on the 15th, we're going to see the last quarter in Taurus at 23 degrees, 26 minutes. During the last quarter is when you celebrate the success, celebrate the project completion, and then we turn away and move forward. As we go back, we have to go all the way back and find the new moon in Taurus. When you set your intentions for this project, that occurred on May 19th of 2023 at 28 degrees of Taurus. The first quarter where you do all that work occurred on February 16th of 2024 at 27 degrees of Taurus. And then we looked at the full moon, which was May 7th of 2024 at 18 degrees of Taurus. And again, now we're at the last quarter ready to go on. Now, we're going to go over the void, of course. If you recall, last week I reminded you that the void, of course, would begin on August 10th at 11:54 p.m. at 13 degrees of Pisces. It continues all the way through the 11th and into August 12th at 3:33 a.m. when it ends and the moon goes into the sign of Aries. Again, on the 13th, we begin another void at 3:53 p.m. at 21 degrees of Aries. It ends on the 14th at 6:22 a.m. when it enters into Taurus. On August 15th at 10:11 p.m., we go into another void, of course, at 23 degrees of Taurus, and it ends on the 16th at 9:01 when it enters into Gemini. Okay, Cancer. Hey, you know what? It's not a super busy week with the energy. Not a lot is going to change. Some few things we'll go over. Of course, we start out the week and the beginning with that same kite that we've been dealing with, leading us all towards Saturn. At the tail of the kite, of course, we still have Mars. So you've got action and limitations here. You need to find a way to lessen that tension. And of course, Saturn is still conjunct with Neptune. There you go. See, I'm doing this from memory right now. It's from Neptune. So Neptune is all about illusion, confusion, and delusion. So you've got action and illusion. Be careful with that one, okay? Now, we have another perpendicular kite, as we did at the end of last week, headed towards Mercury. The tail of that kite is in Pluto. So change and communication. Maybe something needs to give there. See what you can figure out. Now, there's good harmony between the sun and the moon. Midweek, they are in a trine. So feelings about your core identity, they'll be harmonic. And oh boy, we have a square between the moon and Jupiter conjunct Venus. The suggestion, it suggests possibly some inner confusion about how you're going to meet your emotional needs. Now, you may long for love, but second guess your own feelings and struggle making romantic choices, along with expectations fluctuating and the tendency to seek comfort externally is something you may want to look into. You're idealistic and your emotional needs can grow and feel overwhelming or unfulfilled. In career, the professional expectations may be heightened. Mars is in Libra, and that invites just a little pressure, but it also gives you some space to shine under the stress with grace. The full moon aftermath. It highlights the deep, heart centered conversations at home. Make space for emotional, want to stay with your loved ones, so make that space for them. Constructive dialogue is favored. Schedule gentle yet deeper talks. After Mercury goes direct, which occurs on Monday, I want to remind you there's a 2-week post shadow, so don't get too much in a hurry. If you're in a romantic partnership, this is a restorative moment. If you're single, you may be attracting someone through your authenticity and your natural warmth. Themes of anxiety or unresolved emotional patterns can surface. Think of the Line of Swords tarot. Imagine it suggests that there's time to release what you have carried in private. Trust your intuition. Avoid emotionally reactive choices. Boundaries matter. Prioritize your rest. Your mental fatigue may linger from that retrograde. Clarity comes around your emotions later in the week. Dawn, what do you have now for Cancer?
So you're telling me Cancer's going to be all up in their feelings? It's going to be a long week.
It's a new time.
It's going to be a long week. I know some Cancers, and they're probably going to tell me, I ain't watching you anymore. I'm telling you. With that said, let's look at the tarot side and see what Spirit and Universe has in store for you via tarot. All right, Cancer, let's see what Tarot and Universe has in store for you this week. Oh my goodness, the cards have a lot of energy, so that's a good thing. And they are flying. Yes, indeed. They haven't flown yet today. This is the first time. That's not true. The last reading they flew. That's right. I forgot about that. That one was crazy. Lots of energy. But I'm loving this too, because Cancer, look at this. The World card was the first card that flew out. If you're gonna have a card fly out, that's the one. This is one of those energies that anything is possible as long as you want it to be possible, as long as you believe it to be possible. So if you are in a situation where you've been going through a morass, if you've been in a situation where you have been going through a bit of a messy time, then know that the world can shift. You can make this happen. The World card is saying whatever's possible, whatever you want to be possible, you can be possible. I love this too because the Palace of Coins is here, which is telling me about the home life. And Cancer, if I'm not mistaken, in some of my past readings, your home life has been problematic. And this is telling me that there's a shift here. There's a shift there. If you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. You may need to make choices. You need to make decisions and so forth. But know that the world is possible should you be willing to make the shifts and changes to accommodate. Now, on the bottom of the deck is a 2 of Pentacles, which is interesting because the Palace of Pentacles is there, which again is your home and your abundance and your happiness. The 2 is saying choices. It goes back again, choice energy. So as you look at this, the universe is saying they understand the choices are there. They understand that you're going to have free will to make that choice. The question is, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? Okay. But know that the universe is going to facilitate. That's the good part, because the universe understands that this is a transitional time for you. You have the World card. You have the reins. You have the power. I got the power. The next card out is a Palace of Cups, which I love, because now we have the Palace of Coins now covered with the Palace of Cups, which is bringing happiness back to the household, which again, we talked about it. And when we talk about the past few weeks, the readings were about the household in disarray, the household in disintegration, the household in frustration. Now we're getting to a point where the household is coming back into its own because you're putting the work in, which is the World card. You're putting the work in and and making sure that you're putting the house back in order. It's interesting here too, because this shift can be something. Let me pull one more card for this because I'm getting some energy. Yeah. It's the Ace of Swords. It's the Ace of Swords. Oh, different way of thinking. Different way of thinking. If you altered your family situation over the last month or two, Okay. And I'm talking to those who have altered it. This is saying what you didn't make sense. It made heart sense probably to you, but it didn't make logical and reasonable sense. And that has what caused the upheaval in your home. So if you brought an upheaval into your home, if you brought a situation into the home that sent it off kilter, that sent it into a very rocky space, and you can then tie it back to that, get back there and fix that problem. If you were someone who took on an expense that maybe the household didn't agree to at the time, and you said, I'll figure it out, and it's not working out, maybe it's time to offload that expense. Maybe you took on a subscription that messed about the budget up. Maybe you took on a new car and then that payment is too much. Maybe whatever it is. This also could be maybe you allowed people to move into your home that they were supposed to be visitors and now they're little long-term visitors, and this has caused trauma. And so you need to rethink that and say, I appreciate the fact that you're here. And I appreciate the fact that you felt comfortable to come here because we gave you that space. But I've got to make a choice because the universe is telling me to here to get to my happiness. And my happiness doesn't lie with you being in my home. So this is a time where Cancer, you're going to have to speak up and say, my house has to get uncluttered. And that means people too. That's energy I picked up, which is quite fascinating. I'm surprised that came out that way, but that's what I was picking up. And then look at this. This is a Two of Wands. Again, you had the choice. And if you stay where it is, see the red is inflamed. The red is energy. It's negative energy. It's kind of messy. So you can stay there if you want, stay in that messy side, or you can go over here to the blue side. The blue side is more open and loving and warming and caring. And actually that choice is also going to help the person you're helping to show the way to the door, because they got to move on. They have to move on with their life. They're stuck too. So don't be surprised if this is getting rid of expenses or payments you took on, getting rid of family members you took on, getting rid of other things that did not need to be in the house. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. And again, flush the system. And that's that world card, taking that thing. And when you do, remember, abundance and happiness comes with that. It doesn't feel good when you have to make the choice, but when you're making the choice because it makes logical sense, which is again this ace here, you're going to see that it will fall in line. And ultimately, everybody will understand. All right. So this time, unfortunately, Cancer, the one thing you will have to be is a little bit of the Grinch who's stealing Christmas in August, but you have got to make other people realize, you got to make the people in your home realize that you love them enough to make changes. And then you got to realize the things that you brought in that were not happy and healthy, they are jettisoned, showing the family you're ready to make the changes. And in so doing, you will be happy ultimately, and your family will be happy. So let's work on the family, let's work on your environment, and let's make the hard decisions this week. That's what I got, Miss Bonnie. Well, Miss Bonnie, that one took a turn. I don't know how it lined up because in my reading, I totally forgot what you said in astrology because I was like so into the emotional side of this. Cancer is going to have a little bit of a heavy burden. Say again?
I said, I'm surprised you were in your emotions. You were talking about Cancer. Yeah, I was scanning through and I talked about the aftermath of the full moon, that it highlights those deep, heart-centered conversations at home and making space for emotions, wanting to stay with your loved ones, constructive dialogue, and gentle but deeper talks. I think that's what you got into.
Oh, I think so.
It's a tough one for Cancer to do.
Yeah. Yeah, because I got the feeling that they wanted to placate everybody, but in this situation, I don't think they all can. If they're going to move forward, not everybody will be happy, unfortunately. Somebody will have to feel as if, they're not being heard or seen or whatever. And unfortunately, that's what we call life. That's what we call life. But you know what, Miss Bonnie? People can find us easily. We're going to put ourselves out there every week, and people can find us easily. And I think you have a cure to help them make that possible.
I think
What
I
advice do you
might.
have?
Yeah, down in that lower right-hand corner, you're going to see a subscribe button. Hit that button. And right next to that button, you're going to see a little bell. That's a notification bell. Set it to all. Anytime we post a video or go live, you will get a little notification. So you don't have to try to find us. We will find you. Now, if you're on my channel, you're a love goddess and you see it, then hop over to Mr. Don's channel, Sonoran Mystic Tarot, and hit the subscribe button there. Also, set that bell to all. When you're done there, practice makes perfect. Go to Cards and Constellations. This is our new channel. It eventually is the only place you're going to see these videos. So hit subscribe, set that notification bell. Now, when you finally get all that done, go to the share button. Share the videos out, because you just don't know how many times we hear that, I'm not a Cancer, but boy, that hit home, that resonated with me. So share it out, because you don't know how many people you can affect that way. There you go.
And more importantly, when you have had a chance to process this Cancer, let us know how this resonated with you. Let us share with us some of what you were going through, because we know it's heavy, and sometimes just by having a conversation helps you release it. So you are not alone. Remember, there are every aspect of life has Cancer people in them. And so, no matter where you are in your life, I promise you, there are other Cancers who are facing the same situation. So know that you are not alone, and that you have support out there, and other people are going through it. So vent it, put it out there, share it out there with messaging. And until next week, we send you love, light, and blessings. Stay strong, Cancer. You got this. We know you do. Love, light, and blessings from Miss Bonnie and her family. Me and mine to you and yours. Until next week. Bye-bye.